I'm so sorry. I don't know if I can say this or not. But when I'm writing and my elbow will be sticking out of the table, right? So he will actually like rub his against my elbow and all that.
Welcome to Health and Living with me, T. Shawik. This is another episode of Because Feelings Matter, a series where we feature personal stories of people and their mental health issues. On today's episode, I'm speaking to Joshua, a survivor of sexual abuse. Hi Joshua, can you introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Joshua. I am a theatre maker, theatre practitioner, and also recently I dabbled into filmmaking. And I'm here today to talk about my personal experiences with sexual assault and also sexual violence as a male, and also like how it started out when I was a child and also when I was 13 years old.
How old are you now, Joshua?
I am 30 years old this year. Yeah.
Why do you want to share this story now?
Actually, many people have asked me this, and I don't have a correct answer to it. I just feel that it has been nudging me for quite a long time. And for the longest time, I actually thought that this was a me thing, that, it only happened to me. But as I had conversations and also discussions about this with friends and also in the theatre space or any other platform that I have, I realized that I'm not alone in this, and many people have actually experienced this. It's just that they don't talk about it, mainly because as men, I feel that as men, like, we actually feel that there's no need to speak about it, or we don't see it as serious as it's, when it happens to the opposite sex. I feel that the discussion has to start now so that we can protect boys or male in the future. Yeah.
Before we actually go into what you really experienced when you were a kid and like a teenager, as you said, I just want to find out and get to know you better, Joshua. Tell me more about yourself and your childhood and what growing up was like.
I think I'm just like any other guys. Like, I'm just a boy from I'm from Klang, born and bred in Klang. And I think when I mention Klang, like, of course, like, immediately, like, everyone think, like, it's a very in Malaysian terms, it's like a very karat area. So yeah, I cannot say that it's not true, but yeah, growing up as a boy, playing catching with my friends, playing in the mud or whatever, in the rain. And also I think that growing up in a very male dominated like community or culture, I actually found myself to be a very creative person, like, since I was a child. So I love anything related to creativity. I like to draw, I like to paint, dance, or whatever it is. Art actually, I think it has been the driving factor of me, like, keeping me alive today. Yeah, because I think if there's anything that is like, giving me a hope to, like, just stay another day, it would be art, actually. So, yeah. Oh, actually, I'm a preschool dropout. Growing up, I was a very, very naughty boy until the teachers told my mom that they couldn't tolerate me anymore. So I was homeschooled by my mom. I wasn't a very smart student because studies never really I never really had interest for studies. But yeah, like, you have to, right? Because coming from an Indian family and also a family that gives a lot of importance for academics. They say that for Indians, like, you can only become doctor, lawyer, engineer, right? So yeah, I was never given a path to venture into creativity. So it was a very rough journey for me after that, because I was asked to study for something which I was really not interested in, and because of that, like, I think I became, like, in that environment that I was put in, because I was seen as weak and all that. So I got bullied by the people there. Like, I think for the whole 3 years I was bullied, like, physically, mentally, and emotionally, and it took me a very long time to actually to venture back into the creative industry. I was exposed to sex from a very young age. I think from the age of 6 itself. So that's when it was the person who actually did it was my own cousin. So I went to their house, and then I couldn't remember much. Like, it's quite a faint memory, but all I remember was that I know that I was molested by my cousin, and that's when I was, I had this sexual awakening since I was a young child. And that was actually like a secret, like, in my life, like, growing up. And I think that incident actually made me live a double life, because I was very guilty at that time, because I thought, oh my goodness, like, I've done something bad. But at the same time, I also because I was exposed to it at quite a young age, right? I think what is the word? I became hypersexual from such a young age. Hypersexual in the sense that I already know how it feels like, and it's like I was yearning for more, but it wasn't like, like, I'm gonna do it to other people or what. It was a very unhealthy thinking that was planted in my mind from such a young age. So it's actually quite dangerous, actually. That is why another reason why I'm actually talking about it now, because the more I had discussions about this, the more I realized that it happens to a lot of children, happens to a lot of boys especially. And when it happens to a girl, child, immediately, like, action will be taken about it. But from what I understand, from all the discussions that I had with people who has faced this as boys when they were younger, no actions were taken about it, because they just feel that, oh, like, this boy, he can actually, like, get over it, like, he's a boy, he'll eventually, like, grow out of it, that kind of thing. But no, what it also actually did was, because I had this guilt in me, right, I also sort of, like, punished myself for it, thinking that, oh my goodness, like, I have all these thoughts, like, all these unhealthy things in me, like, I should punish myself for it.
How long was that cousin doing that to you?
It was only a one-time thing, but I also, as I mentioned, another incident also happened when I was 13 or 14. I completely forgot. I think it must be around that age. So that's when another incident also happened, where it was actually from the comfort of my own home. So I actually had a private tutor who actually comes and tutors in our house. So what happened was, this teacher who came to teach us, like my sister and I, in the beginning, right, he was very, very verbally abusive towards my sister and I. And also he was physically abusive towards me. if let's say I don't understand anything, if I get something wrong, or if let's say I forgot to do something, he will actually like twist my ears. I know that in school they do that, but this was very painful because like he used to twist it so hard and then he will pull it up, like while I'm seated, and when that is not enough, like once he's done with that, he will actually like pull the sideburns of my hair, which was very, very painful actually. And then like there are times where like he will actually also same thing, they do this in school also, like they will like rotan your hand, like your palms. He did that also, but it was very painful, like because it was extra painful than what I received in school or anything. So that, and also like I think that part I can handle it, but the verbal abuse also, like very plainly, like he will make you feel that you are stupid, you're good for nothing, and also like because I'm not as I said, like I'm not a smart student, so yeah, he'll use like words like stupid, or and the thing is like I think everyone was aware of this, like my parents, my extended family members and all that, but for the sake of education, like they just closed one eye about it, and they felt that it how to say, like it's for our own good, like it's our own good. And but what they don't know is that all this experience actually like affected me in my later parts of my life. I didn't really like I didn't really notice how it affected me like until I was 25, in my mid 20s actually. And that experience, like that actually, like that verbal and that physical abuse, like it went on like for 6 months, I think so, around 6 months. And then after that, I think that time, because like we are physically going through changes, right? So I don't know, I think maybe he saw something, like the physical changes in me and all that. And that's when after that the sexual abuse started. So as I said, like it actually happened in my own safe space and the comfort of my own house and all that. And it didn't like immediately start. It was a very subtle kind of thing at first, where he actually he stopped the verbal and physical abuse at first, and then after that he started like being very nice with me. All of a sudden when he was like that to me, I was so relieved, because I was thinking, oh my goodness, like okay, I don't have to, he's nice now, like I don't have to face like any pain, like physical or also like emotional pain. And I felt like so at ease that time and so free that time. And then what happened after that was he started like taking us out as a family for dinner. He took us out to watch movies and all that. And then after that he will do nice, like nice things for us and all that. In a way, I can say that he was what is the word for that? Not nurturing, grooming. Yeah. So I think he was grooming the whole family. Yeah. It's so messed up. And yeah, after that, when he was with me, like moments that he was with me, he was very aware of the surrounding. Like he'll know when my parents were not at home. He will know which angle to stand at, to do what he wanted to do and all that. So at first it was very like small gestures, and also like very small touch and all that. Like, if I asked him a question, like, maybe he will like just give a slight touch on my hand, like, like, and also he would be, when he wants to explain something, like he'll stand from the back of me and explain something. And then also after that, from there it progressed to something else where I'm so sorry, I don't know if I can say this or not, but when I'm writing and my elbow will be sticking out of the table, right? So he will actually like rub his crotch against my elbow and all that. Like it started like that. And when he realized that I didn't give any reaction or whatsoever, I think like he took it to the next step where that time I was form 1 or form 2, and he actually one day like he called me and then he drew the scientific diagram of the male reproductive system, and then he asked me like questions like, do you know what is this? And then I told him I think I know. And then he further explained about it, and then but the funny thing is that like we didn't actually learn about reproductive system until we were form 3. So yeah, he did that. And then after that, it was, as I said, like when he noticed that no one was at home, right? Yeah, that's when he actually really performed oral sex on me. And then he will do things to my body and all that. So this was actually like going on for quite a long time, actually for months. I realized that there was this one time when he did everything, when he was done with it and all that, and I told him, okay, like just give me 5 minutes, I want to go to the toilet. So like when I went to toilet, I actually like washed myself up, and then I changed my attire, everything. Then I came down, and then he asked me like, you took a shower, is it? And I said yeah. And after that he like just left, like he packed everything and then he just left after that. I don't know why, but that incident like really is stuck with me like until today. And it's crazy because like there are times where actually I still remember like his perfume, or like whatever scent that is, right? So like if another person actually like wears it, I can actually like, it actually brings me back to that time actually. So that is kind of like crazy. And the thing is like it actually came to an end when he actually it actually came to an end for me, not for the other boys, or the things that he did with other boys after that. It actually came an end for me because he actually did it to another boy as well. And this boy actually told his parents about it. This boy and this family, they are quite well-to-do family, and they are quite learned and educated family. What happened was they didn't make a police report on that teacher. Instead, what they did was they took this boy and they took him for a ritual cleansing. And I don't know. Yeah, they didn't get any professional help, nothing, and they just closed that part of that story. And until today, I feel quite bad for him because I always thought that if I would have said something about it, if I would have told my mom or anyone about it, like what this teacher was doing to me, maybe it could have ended with me. But because I felt that time I was so selfish, and also I felt like I was safe from the physical and also like emotional abuse from him. Like I just kept quiet and just let him do whatever he wanted to do. But because that news actually came to my mom, and then like my mom actually came and confronted me. She asked me like, did the teacher do anything to me or not? And I was so afraid that I would actually be in trouble. So I told her that no, like nothing happened to me, like he just touched me and that's it. Nothing really happened. Right after that, my mom immediately like stopped like stop that service with him, the tuition. And then my mom actually did try to do things from her understanding and her capabilities. Like, I think she wanted to report him. She actually went to the school that he was teaching at. He's actually teaching at a primary school. Like, until today, he's still teaching in a primary school. I had to do my research and all that. So back then he was actually teaching at a primary school near my place. And I think she didn't know what to do. After that, we all just forgot about it and we just left it like that. But I think right after he disappeared from the picture, right, part of me like felt that he took something from me, which I didn't know at that age. I never knew at all. But yeah, like, it's after my 20s and I realized that, oh my goodness, like, there's something in me that is missing, and I feel that this person actually took it away from me. Many years after that, I actually saw this person in a public space in a shopping center. So when I saw him from afar, I actually like ran away from, or hide away from him, I actually forgot about that. It's only when I was doing the documentary where one of my friend was actually talking about her experience, like going through sexual abuse and how she actually like ran away from her perpetrator when she saw the person in a public space. And that's when I also realized, like, oh my goodness, like, yeah, like I did, like, like I also ran away from my perpetrator, because like there was a guilt in me like all these years where I thought that I'm actually the cause of what actually took place. Like, if I would have spoken out about it, like, it wouldn't have continued. So I actually like punished myself like throughout those whole years, like growing up, like my teenage years and all that, leading up to my 20s and all that. Like, I will purposely not make myself be respected. Like, I will dress up in a very drabby clothes until people actually say that you have that homeless vibes kind of thing. So my dressing, I purposely dressed up in a way where I don't want people to look at me in any way, in good or even in bad way. Because like one of the reasons why I felt that thing happened to me was because I felt that I was because of the shirts I wear, maybe it's too fitting, or maybe, and because like that time we're growing up, also teenagers and all that, like because we were quite active in school and all that, so I don't know, like we looked quite good that time. So I felt like maybe that's the reason why the thing happened to me. So I thought that, okay, like I need to wear bigger clothes to cover myself up, and I sort of like refrain myself from a lot of opportunities. Like I actually love to sing, so when someone invited me to come and sing over when they are, if they have anything, like I will purposely like say no. Like I'm inside my heart, I'll be thinking no, like I'm actually a very dirty person, like I don't want to, and also like if let's say there are, if my friends or if I know anyone who have children or young babies, like I don't usually like carry them, because in my mind I keep thinking that like no, like what I don't want, like whatever is in me to stick to them, because I actually had that I actually had that thought where when that sexual abuse happened to me, I immediately thought like, okay, like now everything, whatever was in him will eventually like stick to me as well. So I used to do, like I went through all that, and I never really had like physical touch with my family members, because I felt like, oh my goodness, like I really love my family members, but I'm too dirty to actually have like physical touch with them and all that. So all that happened, and yeah, it's during these discussions when I had like while making the documentary, that's when I realized that like all that was actually for nothing. Like I tortured myself for nothing. And it's only now, like after this documentary, right, in my 30s, where I realized that I should actually give myself a little bit more credit, and I should be like a lot more kinder to myself, and I should actually like put myself more out there and like do things which I actually really like and enjoy.
So you've talked a lot about the conflicting emotions that you felt, and so much to do with shame and fear, I suppose, even though maybe you didn't realize it then. But in the background of all that, as you were growing up and just listening to what the adults were talking about, perhaps, or what you saw in the news or TV or reading anything, right? Was there anything that taught you about what sexual violence or sexual abuse was? What did you think that sexual abuse was when you were going through all that? Did it ever occur to you that, this is somebody who's violating you?
No, I never really had that thought. Because again, like first thing, he was in a position of authority. He's supposed to protect me. And when that happened to me, I just thought, again, it also like, because I was so, I think I sort of like made peace with that feeling or that situation, because like I said, like I already was exposed to it when I was quite a young age, right? So I never really saw it as a violation. And also I also want to mention this, that I actually did mention to my friends and family about this, like the thing that happened to me when I was 6. So I didn't like, I chose what to tell them. Of course, like this was already like after the second incident happened, but I specifically chose to tell my family about what my cousin did, because I felt it all like started from there. So the thing is, for the sake of the family, to keep the peace in the family, like my elders, they decided not to talk about it anymore, because the person who did that to me is already married, and he already has a life of his own. And also my uncle and auntie, they are already in their old age, so they chose not to talk about it. So when that happened, I realized that, okay, so there's nothing, since they didn't give like importance to it, like I'm also like not going to give any importance to it. So in that sense, like to answer your question, because of that, I didn't feel like I was violated.
You also talked about being basically bullied when you were in college, is that right?
Yeah.
Do you want to share about that as well? And sort of, I mean, you had already been suppressing a lot in your teenage years, and then pursuing studies in something that you probably weren't interested in. I mean, you can tell me more about that. And also then, emotionally, what kind of place were you in, and what were you going through then?
Okay. I think when I went to college, right, when the bullying was happening, I think like people know who is the weak link, like based on how they actually look or how they actually behave. So from me, like coming from Klang, right, I actually I love to mingle with other races. Like that is how I grew up in like my community. Like we are exposed to so many things, and we are meant to mingle around with other races and all that. But the place that I was sent to, they themselves like very how to say, like openly admitted that they only prefer to mingle with their own races. So me growing up in Klang, I actually like the school that I grew up in, our main language was actually English. So I didn't really like speak much of my mother tongue, Tamil. So when I went there, when they realized that I couldn't speak in Tamil, so that's when I became like a target. And also because I was having a very tough time adjusting to my environment, and also trying to study for something which I don't like, I think they saw that distress in me. So there were many forms of bullying. Like I remember once, like for that whole semester, I will actually like get calls from someone who, like from in the middle of the night or right after I finish my class, or let's say if I'm outside of the campus surrounding, like they will call me and they'll tell me like, I know where you are. Like and if let's say I'm in my room, they'll say that we are coming to your room right now and we're going to bash you up. Like I'll get that kind of random calls and all that. And like being first time out of home and being exposed to all this, I was very I didn't know what to do. Like I actually like went and cried to my friends, not my friends, my hostel mates. But it's after years after that I got to know that the people who actually did all this to me was actually my hostel mates, like after I came out of college. And I think they don't know how much impact that actually left on me. Everything that happened in college, so like whatever was happening back there in college, it also like took that was a different battle. So that battle actually like made me forget about whatever happened back at home, like the sexual abuse and all that. It's after that when like I said, like after I graduated, that's when the impact from the sexual abuse and also the bullying from college actually like merged. And then I became a very dysfunctional person after that. No matter what I tried to do, like to improve my life after that, nothing actually worked out, because I realized that after that I was trying so hard to actually gain approval from everyone around me. I became a people pleaser. I never really told anyone about my feelings, how I feel. If let's say they do anything to me, I don't dare to tell them that, hey, like this is not right. Like I wasn't frank. I never set boundaries for anything. I just allowed people to do whatever they wanted to do to me. Like I basically had no self-respect after that. I didn't respect myself. People didn't respect me. And I think, like during that age, right, your formative years, like when you're 13 to 19, and when you're after that, like when you're 20 to 25, like that's when you actually from a boy, you're actually slowly becoming a man. But I realized that because of all of this, right, I actually never really grew up. Like physically, yes, I changed, but I sort of like, I think that I was still stuck as a boy. And it's very recently I realized that, oh my goodness, like I should let go of I should start growing once again. I should do something for myself in this life.
What else would you say that you are doing to take care of your mental health first?
It can be things like looking forward for tomorrow, things that you think you want to do. Like recently, like for me, like even though I have a background in theatre, I never really put myself into the theatre industry or into the theatre scene, but now I have started doing that, and that is keeping me a little bit busy now. Try to commit to something else also, like other than yourself. Like for me, like the thing that actually keeps me like wanting to, like forces me to wake up in the morning is my dog. So my dog is actually like quite attached to me, so he will like very daringly like every morning demand a walk from me. So that actually, like, no matter how late it gets, like sometimes I really cannot wake up in the morning. Like I really force myself to wake up, but I cannot. Like it will actually like be noon already. By the time I wake up, it'll be noon and all that. But I still take my dog out for walking, like at 12 in the noon. And there are days where, like I do wake up early and I intentionally like take him out. So these kind of things. And also I also realized that when you present yourself to other people, right, when you intentionally like cut your nails, make yourself look presentable, make yourself smell good, and all these things actually help you, even though you are not confident, but these things actually make you confident to actually to engage with the world out there and make new connections, make new friends and all that. So these two things, like when you take care of yourself, when you take care of other people or commit to other things other than yourself, it can drastically improve your mental health. Like I wouldn't say that you will immediately be a 100% positive person or what, but when you look back, you will actually see that you actually came so far, in your mental health journey.
You are now speaking up about this. You made a film, which absolutely goes against this idea that survivors of abuse often stay silent because they're afraid or they have been threatened into keeping silent, right? But as you have been raising the noise about your experience and the experience of others, what have you heard back from society? Have there been positive as well as negative responses towards sexual abuse of boys and men?
I don't know about the response because, like, so far, the response that we've had from the documentary, like everyone was shocked about it. Like they never really heard like these stories coming from a Malaysian narrative. Someone actually came up to me and told me that it's quite refreshing to see that, because like we always see these things happening, like people from the Western countries actually talk about it more, and they actually saw it in a Western kind of setting or whatever, but they told me that it's quite shocking that it also happens in Malaysia. And the response has been quite good, but I have to also mention that there were also like people who reached out to me because they know that I was talking about this particular issue. There were seniors who actually came up to me and told me about what actually happened to them like 60 years back. So this thing it's not a new thing. It has been going on for quite a long time, but no one actually dared to talk about it. And not, few seniors, actually spoke about it to me. The stories were not recorded. It was not included, but they just called me up and they told me that, I heard you were doing a story about this. I heard that you are talking about this issue. So I just wanted to let you know that, this thing also happened to me, but I didn't know who to tell to and all that. And people who were not involved in these stories also, when they came in, like not knowing what to expect and all that for some discussion or something like that, when they got to know about it, that's when they also like opened up. And then they told me that, I came in here like not knowing what we were going to discuss about and all that, but I have something to say. Like this thing also happened to me like when I was a child. and it's very shocking. It has been happening for, I mean, like, I think it's already a norm, like among us, like among our community, but it's so shocking that no one actually talked about it. Yeah.
That's what I wanted to ask you, actually. Do you get the sense now that what you went through and how you were groomed by a predator who was supposed to be a trusted adult, do you get a sense that it's all been normalized in our society?
Yes, I strongly believe that it has been normalized, and also because of the problem also stems from us not talking about it, like among families and in schools, like where we're actually supposed to have this discussion before children are actually sent out, to go to school or their daily lives and all that, where parents should actually discuss these things with their children and tell them, like how to respect their body, like, like the good touch, bad touch in schools also, which I feel that only very recently, like schools has been talking about it, but it's still not enough. So when these things happens, like when parents actually have discussions, these kind of discussions with their children automatically know that, what, this is not normal, this is not how it's supposed to be. Like, I can actually speak out about it. So yeah.
What would you say to the people also who enable or even defend the perpetrators of this kind of behaviors or of this kind of abuse?
Interesting question. Because recently when I did some research, like about the perpetrator who did that to me, I got to know that the reason why he got transferred to another school is because he got caught in the school doing it to students there. And I think the school didn't want their name to get tarnished, so they kept everything quiet. And also so happened, one of the school principals or someone in higher authority or position in the school is actually related to the teacher. So they decided to be like very strategic about it and decided to keep quiet about it, and transferred him to another school. And what is crazy is that I heard that the boys who actually went through, who his recent victims and all that, they are quite traumatized about it. Like, they don't want to even mention about that incident. So when that incident is mentioned, like, they actually like burst out crying about it. So to answer your question, like, those who defend these doings, right, they definitely have like a ulterior motive to it, for their own gain. So one way or another, it definitely like there's a reason why they're trying to protect them. Yeah.
And it's not passive, right? When they protect an abuser, they allow the abuser to cause more harm, don't they?
Yes, exactly. I think because I think it's also because of, again, they know that these kind of issues, no one will talk about it. So that actually like enables them to, be a little bit more braver about it. And also, I think I'm not quite sure about the law, but again, like the law only, I think it actually cites women or girls more than boys, because from what I understand, from what I've read, a rape is only valid when it actually involves the penetration of the female genitalia. So when it happens to a guy, even the victim, if let's say the victim were to report it, it will actually be considered as sodomy. So I think that the law, like, I think there's a loophole, or maybe the law needs to be amended, or maybe I don't have a proper understanding of the law. So that is why people are a little bit more braver about it. One thing, again, like, not spoken about. Another thing is because of the law.
And, you talked about even how your mom tried to do what she could when she found out. But, I think parents may overlook, whether intentionally or not, supposed trusted adults, which is exactly what happens in a lot of cases. It's a teacher, it's a relative, it's a caregiver. And parents overlook when these trusted adults may cross the boundaries and touch without consent. So, I don't know, would you be able to share some thoughts? How can parents recognize situations like these, and what can they do?
I think if you, if you're present enough in your child's life, you can know that there is a shift in their behavior and how they are, reacting to things differently. And I also think that you really need to not only because, not only like if something happens, then you have to be by their side or whatever, but be by their side from the starting itself. I think one note for parents is right, don't stop trying to be perfect. Even as for me, I realized that even if one day I become a parent, I already accept the fact that I will never be a perfect parent. But the thing that you can always do for your child is be supportive, be by their side, break the generational trauma or the generational discipline of how how the previous generation of parents have actually treated us. You don't have to parent your children the same way again. No matter what age your child is in, right, they will always need you. So if, let's say, these kind of things happen to your child even when your child is already grown up, like when they are in their 40s, it's still valid. Like, you can still make a difference in their life, like just showing them support, like telling them that that you are there for them. Like in most cases, right, when these things happens, parents, they immediately react to it emotionally. Maybe partners will start blaming each other, saying that like it's your fault, like you should have looked after him like even more, or self-blame, saying that, oh my goodness, like I never, like it's my fault. And when the thing is, right, when you become emotional about it, when you become over emotional about it, it actually affects your children even more. Your children are already in a state where they don't know what just happened to them or what is going on. And when parents do that, it actually adds up to that stress for them, and they will think that, oh my goodness, like I shouldn't have told my parents about this. And that's why I think it's very important, like now, for parents or like future parents to know that when these things happens, what is the first step that you're supposed to do? Like first, like, you know, like you should hear your child out first, you know, like listen to them, what they're trying to tell you. After that, like do whatever is necessary, like maybe bring them to a police station or a hospital. After that, bring them to a psychiatrist or a counselor. And then as parents also, like you guys also like go through like counseling together with your children. Like, you know, don't do things the way that it has been done all this while. Like it's time to break that generational curse and trauma.
Yeah. What message do you want to leave for those who are listening and watching? Firstly, starting with those who may have faced sexual abuse and grooming.
Please seek professional help, because here's the thing, when as Malaysians or as Asians, right, we think that checking yourself into a counseling session or a psychiatry session or whatever it is, like people will look at you know, like somehow like it will tarnish your reputation or something like that. Actually no. And also people think that going for these things are actually waste of time, because like they mentioned that it won't bring any difference and it's a waste of time and money. And also if you want to talk, like you can talk to your friends and all that, which is true. Like you can talk to your friends, but the thing is, when you speak about these issues to your friends and your families and families will tend to give you advice based on their experience and based on their emotions, which is not necessarily the right thing. So when you seek a professional help, you will actually get opinions from a professional point of view, not from the counselor's personal point of view. So there's actually a difference. And also, like, you are looking at it at a long term. So right now, you might not find these sessions like helpful, counseling sessions helpful, but you will actually see a difference, like maybe 5 years down the road, or 10 years down the road. And yeah, I think there's a stigma, like that stigma has to be erased concerning mental health.
Joshua, thank you so much for sharing your story so candidly with me. I've been speaking to Joshua, a theatre practitioner and filmmaker who has been sharing his experience as a survivor of sexual abuse. This has been Because Feelings Matter, a series featuring personal stories of people and their mental health issues. You can listen to the other episodes of the series on our website or on our app. You've been listening to Health and Living on BFM 89.9.